Okay, everyone, I'm going to be talking about what comes in the Megapack for Catharsis. This is the first Megapack we're doing. Just an easier way to put extra stuff in there, like bonus characters and duo powers and new card types that we come up with, or extra powers for old characters. So that's what we're going to do with like the Megapacks. And this theme is kind of like more support style characters with very unique mechanics. So I'll go over with, I'm not going to go into detail with the characters, I'll do that in the character videos, but I'll just talk about them very quickly. Lumi's an ice elf, a cryomancer. She gets these ice counters here, and she puts ice counters on other players, and when those players have ice counters on their abilities and they activate a power, or they activate an ability on the power just doesn't exhaust. So it's like, these are like pre-heal. And if you get to three, so if you get three ice counters on there, it also reduces the an ability on that power by 2 dice, and it still doesn't exhaust. So if you look here, when an ability on a power is activated, do not exhaust that power. Also reduce it by 1 die. Also reduce it by 1 die. There's rules for ice counters, and her flip effect is very cool because you can like target a player, and if they die, instead they draw 2 powers. They get 1 ice. You can't use it on the same player, and your roll card can only unflip if another character dies. So you can't just keep spamming it. It's very unique. So that's it. To show a couple powers off. Yep. A lot of these are gain ice, and the bottoms have their own effects from like removing ice. So yeah, cool. And that's her artwork. And that's Lumi. All right, let's go and talk about personally my favorite character, the Booze Maiden. So this character is very unique. Let me do a quick run through of her. So she only has 6 powers in her deck, so you get to 6 powers every game, meaning that she's going to be immune to replacement effects. You're immune to replacement effects. She has a separate deck called a drink deck, and this is her passing out drinks. So if a player has only 1 drink, they gain this effect. But if they have 4 drinks, they would gain this effect, and they would gain this effect because they would have 4 drinks. So they gain the fourth effect on every drink. And when you become drunk, you trigger all drunk effects, and something very bad happens from all 4 cards that you have. Like if we look at this one, when you become drunk, you may no longer refresh 2 powers after a combat. So that means you lose that heal too after winning a combat. So that's pretty brutal. So yeah, basically what you're going to be doing is activating your powers and then giving drinks to other players. And at the beginning of each round, you make a drunk roll. And if you roll a certain number, you get drunk and you suffer all the negative effects. So that's, yeah, you can see add +1, and she has to choose one for her flip, add +2 to her drunk roll, or you both gain 2 drinks. You gain 1 drink each round before the drunk roll. So she's getting drunk like crazy. The Brew Maiden. Yep, not the Booze Maiden, sorry. Okay, I forgot we changed her name from Booze Maiden to Brew Maiden. But that is her, and yeah, let's go over the next character. And like I said, I'll do more detailed review in each character video teaching you how to play it. So here's Suna, the Enchantress. This is a character made by a backer. This deck has 2 powers, so it has their own rules for what Thralls are. Thralls is like another power deck. So you start the game with your 6 normal powers. Well, these are not the normal powers. So here's like some normal powers, and you have the option to replace these powers with Thralls, and Thralls are like her servants. And the bottoms just have a flip effect you can easily use, and the tops have die activated values. And you can use them to take damage, and when they take damage, they just replace back with a power. They can take 2 damage, but you don't lose a power slot, so it's kind of cool. You can play around them very well, but you only have 10 of them, and you pretty much can only get each one once a game unless you can manipulate your deck somehow. So that's Suna, an awesome character, and she can definitely solo. The talking about these other characters back here, I would say The Booze Maiden can solo, she can solo, but the Ice Elf, the Cryomancer, she definitely cannot solo. Um, yeah, but these characters can solo. I wouldn't say they're the best solo characters, but they're definitely very cool. And you can see we labeled the backs to make things easier. This is a drink deck. There's a normal powers. You have your roll and you have your setup. We put setup cards in just to make things easier because so many characters have different mechanics that deviate from how the game is played. So let's go over the duo powers. There's 35 duo powers. Most are with all the new characters, right? From the sagas and um, from like Chapter 4 saga and the Megapack and Divine Wrath. Um, yeah, as you guys know how duo powers work at the beginning of the game. If you have the Tinkerer and you have the Vessel or the Devoted, you can sacrifice one of your powers each, and then you share this power. Um, And this is a special one we did because these are my two favorite characters. So I did one from my favorite character from Divine Wrath is Calexia, and then Unmay. So I did one, and I made it pretty unique, where Unmay replaces her roll card with this duo power and gets a new passive and a flip ability. So, but that means you're both down to 5 powers very early if you switch that roll card out too early. So I think it's pretty cool though. Yeah, so these are duo powers. And I think we did a lot better with the design. Everything's more readable, especially on the new cards. I worked hard on that. Try to keep the idea that we had to um, make them unique. But I definitely made the dice more readable, and the text is all yellow now. So and the backgrounds are way better. So hopefully you guys like that. So here's champions. These are also new. I'll actually go through all of these. So these two here, they were backed for a couple who got married. It was one of his gifts to his wife, so I think that's really cool. They're shadow elves, so we'll go over that. These are just artworks that we've had that we've never used and we may have done for people in the past. This is one of my favorite artworks. And Lilith. So let's go over a couple of these champions. So what are champions? Because I may not do a video directly talking about them, but champions are at the beginning of the game. You follow the setup on each one. So this one is you start the game with one fewer die. This becomes your 7th power. So yeah, you can use this to take damage and everything. And we have an always active each round. If an enemy deals at least 1 damage to you or other players, prevent 1 of that damage. Gain a champion counter. Each time you prevent damage from this passive, at 12 champion counters you die. Technically, if you took 12 damage in 1 round, you could prevent all of it. And hey, you'll die right away in the first round if you somehow the party took 12 damage. But yeah, but you have another always active. When you would die, instead remove this card from the game and choose a new character from the box. Replace your character with a new character and follow the setup for that character as though starting the game. Then discard 2 powers. You still only have 5 dice because you start the game with 1 fewer die. So there's that. And she'll be a character in the Christmas pack. This is a different artwork of her. So let's go over. I want to go over the 2 more here because I think these are really cool. Yeah, we have this one, deal 20 damage. Maximum player board size is reduced by 1. So 6 die, deal 20 damage, but replace 1 of your powers with this power and then remove another from the game. So you only have 5 powers. So you get one that's a little bit stronger because you're giving up a whole power at the beginning of the game. So here's one of the they bought artwork, and we always turn artworks into champions. So if you want your character made in the Catharsis world, but not like as a whole deck, we charge like about $400, and then you get the whole artwork of your character, and then you get a champion card. Now champions are new cards because we want to give people who love our game something. So this one's replace 1 of your powers with this power. So you still have 6 powers. So it's just like this champion is just kind of joining your group, and give the dice use activates ability to 1. Give the dice use activates his ability to 1 or more other players. So this is a trade-off, like trade your dice. You exhaust his power to basically give dice to other people. A little bit like a partnership ability. Prevent damage equal to a number of champion counters on this power. Split among any number of players and remove all counters. Yeah, we added little champion counters, as you can see, so yeah. And then always active at the start of each round. This power's on exhausted, add champion counter, so that's how you get to champion counters. And I'll talk over hers. This is like a little fizzle boom power, so they rotate, and you deal 5 damage, you rotate. When this power is rotated, place a champion counter on it. Remove all champion counters. If she remove all champion counters on a lot of this power takes damage. Yeah, sorry, I had a notification pop up. Replace one of your powers with this power, so you keep 6 powers. Deal 3 damage, place 1 damage per champion counter on this power, and then you rotate it. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. You're going to be rotating this card around. And last but not least, these are just extra Tinkerer powers. There's 10 extra Tinkerer powers because you can see she has different levels, so she levels up her powers, so 30 extra cards. So the Tinkerer, she picks what 6 cards she starts with, and we made the powers like really unique because yeah, she's just someone we can do crazy stuff with, like the Chaos Orb, the Timed Orb. These are leveled versions. One of my favorites here is look at the next 2 boss deck cards. You may reorder those cards except bosses. You cannot reorder cards in the boss decks that play in order. Example, Valentine and Dragon Lich. So decks that play in order, you can't reorder. You know what I mean? It's pretty clear about that. And if you get the level 3 version, you look at the next 5 boss deck cards, and then the bottom is look at the next boss deck card. So you can kind of reorder it with here, and then the down part you can like get an enemy next and do 9 damage with 4 dice. So there's a lot of manipulation going on there. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. This is like a reloader. There's a reload mechanic on a couple of abilities now. And then the Cyberpunk expansion will have a lot of reload mechanics, so this will be awesome to an awesome power to play with the Cyberpunk characters in the future. But that's it for the Megapack. So thanks for just checking this video out. I'll get the character videos up later and talk about the Saga character, the all 10 characters eventually. So we'll do the Megapack and the Saga characters first, since I already talked briefly about the Divine Wrath characters before. But thank you and take care. Bye.